Welcome to Both Down, episode 196. Wait, I messed up, didn't I?
I mean, it's good enough.
Welcome to episode 196 of Both Down, the number one Blood Bowl podcast.
From Union Arena.
I still can't get it right. We've had over 200 episodes, and every time I default to what 3 Die Block says.
I mean,
Every time.
you listen to that more, which is fair. I'll give you some credit there.
We should just one day just have the stuff, get the stuff from Johnny P and have that like, why you laugh and all that stuff, and we start it up here.
Just combine everything.
Sure, why not? We live in a fractured reality, I guess. I am Scott Prime, and that other beautiful voice you hear is Steve Kilowoggy Campbell.
How's it going?
Howdy, Steve. Bro, life is going, man.
Yeah, I know.
Probably the same for you, right?
So Union Arena, for people who don't know, is Chainsaw
It's a card
Man.
game, and they have a Chainsaw Man card set that came out. I guess the pre-release was today at my store, not my store, another store locally, and I went down there to play it, and we
won't get
ran
into it
for
more.
about 25 minutes about how like it was the slowest ran tournament I've ever been a part of. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Blood Bowl.
Right, Blood Bowl, very exciting. We'll get into real life stuff later on, but for right now, Blood Bowl. So let's go in an order, I think.
Okay.
Because we haven't talked about the World Cup yet. I was able to watch the World Cup press release from the airport on my way back from Portland, which we'll discuss in the next segment. Overall,
So I don't watch that. So what is
yeah.
your opinion?
So, and if you
Like,
want to hear
hold on.
more, you can listen to World Cup Report. But yeah,
Okay. Let me add this.
sure.
The little bit I've saw on World Cup was, and I guess this is now a new trend with tournaments where you make this like graph, and you look across the graph and go, I want to play Chaos Chosen, and I go here and it says, oh, I can stack 2 skills, but I get $4,000 less.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. I saw that and it felt very convoluted. I'm sure if I was going to World Cup, it would be easy to figure out. But again, I immediately anymore in Blood Bowl, and I know I'm an old man yelling at clouds, and I know why tournaments want tiers, so they'll diversify and have all the races. I get that, but I'm so tired of everything not being equal to try to make things equal. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't dispute that.
And this is not a World Cup thing. This is
Right.
all tournaments.
So they just today, I think, put out the version 2 of the rules. So it's a little bit cleaner, a little less options. All the stunty teams can take stars now, which they weren't before, because a lot
Really?
of teams can't take stars. It's interesting. I don't particularly agree with it. And now, in addition, if you do take a star, you get penalized points of your build for star player points, which I have no
Okay.
problem with that in general, just not in addition to limiting races who can have. Anyways, I can get into that on a whole different level.
Okay.
The press release was,
and you and Tim probably do get that
Yeah.
into that right over at the other podcast.
we haven't discussed the new rules yet because, like I said, they just came out.
Okay.
We actually were on Underworld Denizens, down Underworld.
We were, or you
Tim and I was down Under Denizens podcast,
Okay.
talking about stuff. Anyways, so they did the big press conference reveal. It was like 6 people, some streamers, some people who are going to be there streaming the event. It's all fine. The main takeaways are they set the dates, so September of next year, whatever dates, I don't remember.
Okay.
They are going to start squads registration in September of this year. The main thing, because they didn't really give too much specifics about everything else, they're going to have some agreements with hotels, and they'll get buses to pick people up from there, blah, 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 whatever. The main thing is they are limiting it to 2,000 people.
The what?
Right.
For real?
They are initially, in my words, They are limiting it to 2,000 people. And a lot of
Well, they're
people
gonna.
pushed back with that. And they were of the opinion, well, Spain got 800 people at the last one. So they're not going to be bringing 800 people to Malta. And Malta doesn't have that many people natively. That's all fine and good, but there's
What
still
is
going to
it?
be more than 2,000 people that register
Wait, say that again. So Spain alone had 800 people
for the last one,
signed up.
which had
Okay.
2,400 people. So if you take away 800, you get 1,600.
Okay.
Their
Oh, so they're
opinion,
kind of saying like, well, Malta doesn't have that many, so
right.
therefore we're capping it at. I mean, at this, yeah,
So
I feel like I can't say enough much because one, I'm not paying attention to it.
right.
I'd be uneducated. But man, these World Cups are getting bigger and bigger. I
They
mean,
sure are. And that was one of the things with our bid was people were talking about, well, what happens when you don't get that many people? I'm like, well, we'll get a ton of people. It's not a problem. People are going to want to go. And now they did say they were kind of skirting around the issue of, your bid said you could host 2,500 or more. Why are you capping it at 2,000? So my personal opinion, they are doing that to create a sense of false scarcity to get people to sign up quickly. Because the sooner people that get signed up, the sooner they pay, the sooner the coffers get filled, the sooner they can start paying out to get stuff created. I got no issue with that.
okay,
Totally
that's
get it.
fair.
I would do early bird pricing just to reward people for signing up early or whatever. Anyways, um, we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure if they hit 2,000, they're going to magically come up with 500 extra spaces or whatever.
Okay,
There are 3 different ticket types. One is basic. You get entry to the tournament and a set of dice. That's it.
okay,
The next one is entry to the tournament, dice, and a cardboard pitch, which I thought was interesting.
okay.
And then the premier one is all this other stuff and a neoprene pitch. So there's different levels of entry. We don't know exactly what they are yet. You can go to the website and see them. They have different things they
Okay.
talk about. Again, don't
That's
have it.
interesting. You would think it would just be, are you coming or not? Here's what you get.
Well,
But
this allows people. So if I put on an organizer's hat and look at this, then I'm looking at what's the low end ticket value. Let's say it's
okay,
$100 for the low end and
sure, I get.
175 for high end. Who knows? But let's say it's 100. Well, you're looking at $100 per person minimum, and you've got an expected 2,000 maximum. That tells you exactly how much money you can spend.
Okay,
So I get that.
you justified it enough. Okay,
And then other people add on stuff. Okay, well, if you take the ticket, that's an
that's
extra
just gravy.
75. We now know what to make of the extra stuff.
Okay, I
So,
guess I can see that you have people traveling in. Maybe they
yeah.
don't want to get back too. You can put a pair of dice in your pocket.
Mhm.
Fine.
And I
Okay,
get it.
we're, we're done. Move on.
Um I think that was pretty much it for the World Cup. I might have missed something. Like I said, we go over more detail in World Cup report. We'll go over more detail once we get more information. I encourage everyone to sign up early. Um, I think we've got our squad set because I think Three Die Block is going to do their own thing. So Craig, I, Austin, Joe Smith, Joe Rasmussen, and Tom Stone. So we got our squad. We wanted to get it done fast because we as soon as this goes up for sale, we got to get in. And again, that's
Now I
a smart
now I can make a
idea.
squad, and I don't have to play with you and Craig.
If you want to go, we can kick someone off.
Oh, really? You kick somebody off from me?
Yeah,
I,
I know you're
I
not going to go. So,
No, realistically, I think my first World Cup adventures is going to come once kids get off of out of high school and band. So,
or when it comes to America next time. Bum, bum, bum.
or that'd be great. That'd be even better for
Um,
at least the first time.
right.
So, speaking of World Cup,
Yeah.
Did we talk on this podcast about me going to the World Cup game?
No, we did not.
Okay, I'd like to. So the FIFA World Cup has been going on, and of course, probably I just assume if you like Blood Bowl, you probably paid attention to the FIFA World Cup.
At least paid
It is
attention
my
somewhat, yeah.
absolute favorite sporting event. It's to me, it's bigger than the Super Bowl.
For sure.
It's bigger than the Olympics, and I just love it because I just think it's wonderful. Just it feels just like an honor to be there, even though now they keep expanding and expanding it for more and more teams. But
Right.
with that said, I've loved this event for the last 30 years of my life. Maybe a little bit longer, but probably since '94 for sure. When it was here in America,
Hmm.
that's the big first time I remember. I like to watch any game, and I get mad if I don't get to watch the game. So I literally try to watch every game I can. Um, I don't watch a lot of TV. My TV is not turned on much, but I've watched a ton of games. I've even had to watch them on Peacock, which was all in Spanish. I should be able to speak Spanish by now, but I still can't.
Yeah, my brother got
Anyways,
annoyed with that because they were like, "You can watch every game on Peacock." He's like,
you
"Fine,
can
I'll get
in Spanish.
Peacock." Telemundo, Universal.
Right. Yeah, you really didn't have to have it because if you had Telemundo, you had the same.
Hmm.
Uh, anyways, my favorite event. It was on my bucket list of I'd love to go to a World Cup game. I never thought I'd be able to do it. A year and a half ago, me and my brother-in-law, he's a soccer coach, soccer family, his whole life. We talked about it. He decided like it's just too much money. We could buy these tickets for match number 92 or whatever, but we don't know who is playing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not gonna be worth it to him, is what he said.
And purchasing that far in advance is like $1,500 or something just to get a
It
random
was,
seat.
I think it was 1,200
But yeah, it was
per
just a
seat.
random seat to a random event.
Right. You're just like in this drawing, and we would have had like 5 seats because his boys wanted to go really bad.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, and then it just kind of fell off the cliff. So I was like, okay, we're not going. And then Gary, who was part of our last squad when we went to Oracle Cup, he was not going to go, just because of expense. Long story short, uh, during the last round of games, my nephew is coming into town because my brother-in-law's father is in hospice and is passing away. He comes into town. He's like, "Dad, we gotta go. Let's go see a game." Um, Long story short, my both my nephews and my brother-in-law and one of my nephew's wives went all to the game. My sister even backed out of it because we didn't want to pay. She didn't want to pay that much money. They got to see Japan and somebody play in the last round. Um, I was really feeling super jealous. And then on our trip to Detroit, me and Gary's talking in the hotel, and I find out he's going with the doctors from his work. And I get it. He can't just like, hey, can my buddy Scott go with me? I mean, like
Right.
these are like business people, and it's the doctors, and my buddy kind of has to placate a little bit to the doctors to, he's got to mix in the, got to do what we got to do for our job, and I get that too. So he was going to a game. I was super jealous. So here we are. We're watching round one of the playoffs right after the weekend. It's Monday night. Me and Jennifer are laying in the bed. We're watching a game, and I'm just like, man, this Friday I'm off work, July 3rd. We should just go to the game and try to get scalper tickets. So she starts looking, and she goes, there's tickets tomorrow right behind the goal for, I think she said $400. And I was like, there's no way. And she's like, I was like, there's got to be a lot of fees, et cetera, et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera. We looked into it. They were legit. They were second row behind the goal. Called my sister immediately. I'm like, hey, you want to go to this game? And my sister's freaking out because she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, I'm dead serious. I'll pull the money out of savings. I'll do whatever I can. I want to go game. I'll call into work tomorrow. She's like, I don't know. I had all this stuff scheduled. Let me see what I can do. Well, at the time she called back and said, okay, let's do it, which was only like 8 minutes, I think. Those tickets were gone. Then we found another pair, but they were about $100 more.
Mhm.
Long story short, this happened. We were getting snaked. Somebody was buying them right underneath us every time, and we're dead set on going. This conversation starts at 9:30 with Jennifer at night. Before it gets to 9:55, my sister's like, "This is crazy. This is crazy." Okay, we bought them. And we're still behind the goal, but we're higher up now, a little bit higher up, which in hindsight was spectacular tickets.
Mhm.
So it is now 10 o'clock at night on Monday, and we have to drive to Dallas the next morning, which means we have to. Now, my brother in law's already went. He wanted, there's like a booth that gave out like World Cup bracelets for the females, as long as you're willing to stand in line and get these bracelets. Well, he stood in line for like an hour and a half and didn't move. The line didn't move because they got there a little bit late. He didn't get one for my sister. They also sell out of scarves. I guess this is a tradition in soccer that they print scarves that has all the information of the match. So it'd be like Norway versus Ivory Coast, and it has the date on it and stuff. Anyways, my brother-in-law missed out on that. So he was like coaching us at like 10:30 at night. You got to get there early. You're gonna go in line. You go straight to this line. Go to straight to this line. Don't wait in line together. Just go separately. Anyways, now I can't sleep because I'm so excited. This might have been the most exciting thing I've had happen since my children are born. Like I'm like, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I gotta sleep. And it was past midnight. Get up at 4 a.m. Take a shower, get ready, go meet my sister down in Norman, and we take off. Now we still don't have our tickets until she's freaking out about it. I think it's 6:30 the digital tickets finally come through. But we're on the road now for an hour and a half. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
We get there, we park. We found some parking just for $60 and not the $120. And we, looking back on it, we probably walked close to a mile to the stadium, but still, we walked to there. We get in line at 7:45. We get in the line to go wait in line. Finally, at 9 o'clock, they open up the gates. We go. They herd you through a bunch of gates. They want to first make sure you even have a ticket. I got to see your ticket. Okay, now you can go past me to go
Mhm.
wait in line to show your ticket to actually go into the stadium. We get there. We both take off in separate directions. Steve. She goes to the Bank of America line to get her bracelet. I go to get the souvenirs. I'm like the third one in line. It's so much that the lady just says, "Step right up."
Oh
And I'm
wow.
like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. So I get my brother-in-law a scarf, and I was like, you know what? I just better get something because this line is going to be overwhelmed here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I bought me a scarf. Glad I did. But by 9:15, me and my sister met back up. She had her things, I had my things, and we are like, what are we going to do for 2 hours and 5 minutes before this game starts? And I look over at the line, like 9:20, and it's out the door and around the building for
Mhm.
the for souvenirs and stuff like that. So I did the right thing. So we go ahead. Oh, I thought you. So we walked around, and I tried my hardest not to bawl my face off because I was just emotions. Because this is like a bucket list item for Scott, and even though I spent a lot of money on my tickets, kept telling myself it's cheaper than going to another country. It's
Yes,
cheaper to
true.
go to another. And the benefit was it was a playoff game. We were going to see a winner no matter what happens. No ties, nothing.
Mhm.
And I've watched enough games that I saw like two of the three games Ivory Coast played. I saw all the Norway games. My sister's a big Holland fan, so like she was happy, I was happy. So we walked around for nearly 2 hours and 45 minutes taking pictures and stuff, and then there was families. Like dad was taking picture of mom and the kids, and we like, hey, jump in there, we'll take pictures for you. So we were those crazy people running around. I bet we took 30 family pictures or so, 25 to 30 family pictures. If you're listening to this in another country, and if the political scene over here scared you off, which that's fine. We hear the same thing about certain countries. Let me tell you something. I know there's two groups of people at these World Cup games, either people going into debt or people that never will go into debt because they're rich, right?
Exactly.
Tickets are very expensive.
And I'm guessing
And it,
most of it is just the super rich ones because every time I saw someone being interviewed, like, well, how much did it cost you for on this whole trip? Oh, 50,000. Oh,
right,
250,000.
right.
Eesh.
Every person I ran into in the stadium Maybe we were all happy just to be there. Everybody was nice. I'm sure there was bad people there. People took pictures of me and my sister. You know, they mistake this as like, get in there with your wife, and I'm like, my sister would quickly correct them, like that's my brother, which cracked me up. But anyways, everybody was so nice, and not only was I emotional just to be there in the presence of it all, I got like teary eyed just because like people are so nice. And I promise you, you in another country, you've seen the feedback of everybody that's coming over here. We're just people like you, and vice versa. Americans, you're just people just like them. We're all trying to make it, looking for a little escape. Most of us are actually nice people. Or if we're not, we're trying. We're
Yeah.
really trying. So just remember that. All of us, including us Americans, because I ran into so many people that could barely speak English, and yet we figured it out. We smiled, we laughed, took pictures. It was a great moment. We saw a great game. Um, we had a blast. It was so much fun. I was so exhausted. We got home about 6:30, and I was done. Man, I was just shot. I bet I lived off of 2 hours of sleep. And if I had the opportunity, and me and my sister are really totally different people. We
Hmm.
really are. Um, we both, we didn't ever get into like any religious or political conversations. We talked the whole time. I told Jennifer that this is going to be one of those trips that one of us one day will be talking about it at the person's funeral because it meant so much to them.
Yeah.
And I still stand by that, and I'm very grateful for it. And I haven't been on a vacation trip with my sister, especially not one on one, maybe ever. So it was really, really awesome about dumb things in life and just go enjoy and have a good time. And it was awesome. My sister shares everything with her husband. She's a little tiny guy. Like, she's like, oh, well, we could split that giant quesadilla. And I'm thinking, like, kind of want the whole quesadilla to myself, but I just played along. Sure. Because I thought, I can sneak to the bathroom and get my own, another quesadilla if I want. So, anyways, it was a great time. My World Cup experience is A plus plus plus. If you think you're going to regret it, just go do it. So I would do it again in a second. Yes, the ticket was stupid. I think it was $612. It was ridiculous, but I'm
Yeah.
really happy I did it. So,
I mean,
anyways,
I don't blame you one bit. Interestingly enough, the last trip my sister and I did was to the same place. We went to watch
yeah,
the OU and Baylor game.
yeah. You said you went down. Yeah, see, I'd never been to the Texas Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys are, and that thing is giant, freaking enormous.
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, it's so big. It was a pain to kind of maneuver around because they had VIP sections right in the middle. So
Yeah.
with the tier we were on to get to the other side of the tier, we had to go up or down a whole bunch of levels. We did it. We had nothing but time to kill. So, but it was amazing. I somehow made it through just being teary eyed, never just bawling. But I wanted to. I really just wanted to cut loose and cry my face off and enjoy it. I was just like soaking it in, seeing the field, watching them water it, do this and that. It was just amazing. So, good times, good times.
And you too can have that same feeling when you go to the Blood Bowl World Cup in Malta 2027.
I mean, you might. I mean,
It
if
is,
somebody described to me that it's the
yeah,
same feeling, then hell, what am I waiting for? I need to go.
it is similar. I mean, obviously, you're not, I don't know, you've been playing Blood Bowl about that long, but yeah, it's pretty amazing. Anyways,
With
back
that
to
said,
back to other Blood Bowl stuff before we get sidetracked.
right. So
Um,
what are we talking about on this podcast,
I got
Steve?
more stuff to go over.
Oh, I
So
thought you were trying to set me
no,
up
no,
to sit.
sort of.
Gotcha.
So I'll just cover it real quick. The new Charlie Victor game came out. Pitch Clearers looks
Oh yeah,
interesting.
good.
So if you're interested in that, go to Kickstarter. And then we got news: the Blood Bowl 3 or Warhammer Blood Bowl, the video game as it's called now, did their press conference, which not much. I mean, if you whatever you have now is going to transfer over to the new one. The new one's going to have 14 teams at launch, but I think you can purchase additional teams if you don't have them, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully by the end of the year. And then they're hoping to have Blitz, not Blitz, Mayhem, friend, I
Seven?
don't remember. Some type of sevens game. I forget what the name is, but it's essentially sevens, but they're doing their own thing. They're
Okay.
hoping to have a beta of that in a couple of months. So once we know more, we'll talk, but at least it's moving forward and the game still exists. So that's one thing.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Now we can get into the actual show. So first
So
off,
we got to. Oh, you
what?
do it then. You're gonna know better than me. Sorry.
Okay, you're fine. So first off, we're going to talk about a couple of tournaments I've gone to since the last time we talked about it. And then we're going to talk about you and your playoffs. Are they finished?
Correct.
Or are they still going on?
They're still ongoing until this Sunday.
Ah, a little late. Or could have done. Anyways. And then the final one's going to be about our friend weekend and other life stuff. So if you don't care about stuff like that, you can stop listening at that time.
Right. We will not talk about. Well, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Hey, ready?
All right.
We'll be right back.
All right. We're back to hear the adventures of Steve Kilowoggy Campbell.
Scott is upset because he's been trying to fix his headphones for about 20 minutes.
Shut up, Steve.
Okay. So I'm going to make these pretty quick. I got two to go over. First one, Oofta Bowl. After a Oracle Cup, Craig had to go to Minneapolis anyways. So I just joined him and he stayed an extra weekend. And we played in Oofta Bowl. His hotel, he had some special thing. They had a pantry there that you can just go in and take all you want. Which I guess is a reward. I guess it's like a rewards pantry when you hit a certain level. But it was amazing. Like I can just go in and grab sodas and pastries, and it was awesome. Didn't cost anything. And the pastries were really good too.
Somebody paid for it.
From talking to Jason Weaver, it was something like you can pay $50 or something on the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was doing that for work, then work paid for it. So, yay. The tournament was at the old Fantasy Flight headquarters, which is super big. Had tons of table, tons of product. Even with all that product and a Blood Bowl tournament going on, there was nothing for Blood Bowl. Zero. Which comes into play later because Craig won a gift certificate and there was nothing to buy. Yeah, it sucks. Duder was running it. He's using his own spreadsheet. Haven't done that in ages. Told him about Blood Bowl Team Manager, so I think he's going to try that next time. Makes life a lot easier. He had some amazing awards made, and I didn't get one, which sucks, but Craig did. So they were like tiles, and then he hand painted on each one real flamboyantly, like what they were, like best defense or best offense and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're really cool looking. I took orcs for this tournament just to knock them out, trying to get 10 with every race. And this is the first tournament that I've gone to, and I don't know how long, that I didn't wear a Both Down related t-shirt. Because about 2.5 years ago, I was at a thrift store and found an Oofta shirt. It was just a red shirt that said Oofta. And I'm
You
like,
had to wear that.
I'm buying that, and eventually when I make it to that tournament, I'm wearing it. So I did. I felt good. No one commented on it, but whatever. Round one, went up against John. He had the Lord of Underworld Teef, which is an Underworld team with fungus. I received, got a high kick. Kaz the Line Rat, Foul Kaz the Goblin. Blitz the star player and got a push, which sucked. I was trying to take him down real quick. But I did get him away from all my players, and he had to move, with a 2 out of 3 chance to hit his guy next turn. He gets the 1 out of 3 he needs, and then he keeps going, and he knocks down a couple of my guys, which really sucked. I was able to blitz his gutter runner, just got to push. Fungus casualtied my troll, but I was able to regen. I failed to dodge with my thrower to throw to the blitzer. I well, I had to dodge. Sorry, I got the ball with thrower, threw to my blitzer, caught it. He ends up blitzing my ball carrier with one die, gets the POW. Ball goes into two of my tackle zones. And this is what really sucks. His gutter runner had big hand and two heads, which is why I was trying to kill him at the beginning. And he
Okay.
just walks right in, picks it up, no problem, and walks right out, no problem. I was able to Kaz a snot. I got a guy on the ball carrier. Then I was fouling and I got called out, which happens a lot. He did end up failing a dodge with the ball carrier. So I was like, oh, sweet. But I failed the pickup. But I was able to KO Fungus, so at least I got him off the pitch finally. He was crazy, just pushing me around and getting everything he needed. He has 3 people on the pitch at this point because I am just KOing and fouling and beating the crap out of him. I foul the gutter runner. I casualty him, and he uses his APOF and he comes back, which is just friggin' huge. So annoying. I score on turn 5, and then he gets... No, not turn 5. I got the last turn. And then he got 5 out of 6 of his KOs back. And I'm kicking to him on his last turn, and he gets a timeout. So he moves up on the right side. The Rat Ogre is 2 away from the sideline. I've got Frenzy. I get him out of bounds, but he ends up being fine. And I've got a guy on his ball carrier. And then I just do a massive cloud, forcing him to make a ton of dodges. Well, he succeeded, 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 and succeeded, and got a touchdown. I counted. He had to dodge 6 times, and he made it. In and out of tackle zones. So it wasn't just like, 2 every single time. So that sucked. Second half, just a lot of back and forth. Got some casualties, got some bad rolls, some good rolls. Nothing happens. Tied 1-1. I had 3 legit casualties, but I had a ton of foul casualties, but they didn't count, unfortunately. At lunchtime, went to Jimmy John's. Nothing too exciting. Round 2, go up against Thomas, and he's got the Gilded Valley Golden Gods, which are Tomb Kings.
Okay.
He receives, and he gets a coaching role. He casualties a Gabo turn 2. His turn 3, he gets a both down on a 2-die uphill, so that was nice. I was able to get the ball carrier down. I failed pro for a 2-die uphill on a Tomb Guardian, which hurt me. Well, not horribly bad, but did suck. His turn 4, he actually uses Secure the Ball with a Skeleton, which I thought was 3 away, but I guess it's 2 away. That kind of screwed me, but whatever. I maneuver and go for it 2 times to get a guy on the ball carrier, but I fail a dodge to hit him on blitz. And it goes on for most of the half, and I fail a handoff on turn 8 for a touchdown. So nothing. Second half, high kick, and I get it. On turn 2, I pass to a blitzer, move down, put a guy on the only person close to him. I score on turn 3, and I keep him from scoring, so I win 1-0.
Okay.
Only 2 casualties, and that was him. I got nothing on him. Then, last game, I'd only given up 1 touchdown at this point, so I was like, well, I might have a chance at best defense. And Craig had scored a bunch, so we're thinking he might have a chance for most touchdowns. Then I go up against Tim and his High Elves. I put a thrower...
Tim Lyons?
No, just some Tim.
Oh, okay.
No. They would have gone. The 3-dot block guys normally would go to this, but it was the week after Oracle Cup, so they didn't want to travel. So I use my on the ball with my ball carrier, get under the ball, but he gets a charge and pushes me out of the way from under the ball and puts his dragon prince there, and he catches it. I was able to hit him, but it was just a push, re-roll into a push. He scores his turn 1.
Nice.
I lost 4-1.
Oh.
So that game did not go well. I even had 3 casualties against him.
So I feel like what you're saying is
no award for me.
You helped Craig lose most touchdowns, and you definitely lost best defense.
So that is what we thought. And then when Duder was going through everything, he gave the award to the Tim guy, and he said how many touchdowns he goes, and it's like Craig's like, I had more than that. It's like, well, you need to say something. So he said something, and he got the award back, which was a little awkward, but it happens. If you rightfully win an award and you catch it before the people leave, let the organizer know. Things happen. It's not a big deal.
That's true.
Guy didn't care. Like, obviously he wanted the award, but he didn't mind that Craig got it because he was better or rightful to it, I guess. We had to get up super early the next day. So we ate at the restaurant at the hotel. It's pretty nice. I grabbed a lot more stuff from the pantry and loaded up my suitcase. We get to the airport, and this is 5 in the morning or so. And we go our separate ways because we're in different terminals, because that's what it is. I go to check in early because I'm like, I'm just going to check in and go grab breakfast and hang out, whatever. I'm a 78-year-old lady, according to TSA. So they scanned my information and said I was a 78-year-old lady. And obviously I'm not. So they're like, well, it's an easy fix. You just have to go to the counter and fix it.
In spirit, you're a 78-year-old lady.
This is very true, but not physically. Most of it. So they're like, just go to the counter. You can get it fixed. No worries. The counter didn't open for 3 hours.
What?
I had to sit in the shitty part of the airport for 3 hours. And then the guy finally shows up. I'm the first one in line. And he looks at it. He goes, no, everything's good on my end. So I go back up, and everything's fine. It's like, God damn it. So annoying. But I did get Orcs to 9 games, and that was state number 28. So that was cool. I happened to see that Oregon was doing a tournament a couple weeks after that, so I ended up going there. This was the Aspirin Thorn Pastravaganza, as June 27th in Portland. So flew up early Friday. That airport up there is crazy cool. It's like part mall, part art exhibit, and a terrarium outside. It was very cool.
That is very cool.
So I was super excited to get back there and just hang out afterwards. But took a shuttle to the hotel because I save money any way I can. And since I was there so early, I decided this is right on the Columbia River. So I went to a little restaurant that was on the docks, and I had halibut fish and chips, and unfortunately just way too much breading, so it wasn't that good. But it's still cool because I was on the dock and sat outside and got to see the seagulls and the ships go by and stuff.
Well, it's still like an environmental experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And since I had time to kill, I decided to go to Rocky Butte, which was... should probably look into the history of it. I don't really know. It was like a training area or something. It's kind of like a fort-looking thing on top of a mountain. But It's just a cool place to get views and see stuff. And I got to watch a ton of airplanes come in because it was right over that part of the town where the airport was. It's really pretty. Stayed there for probably a couple hours just to get some good photos, wait for it to get dark. And then went back. I had nothing else to do. So I went back to the hotel and slept. Jason Weaver was nice enough to pick me up. We went to another reason I wanted to go to this is the Ordo Fanaticus Clubhouse that we got to play in. And Ordo Fanaticus has been around for a long time up in that area. They've always talked about their clubhouse. We played against them first round at World Cup last time. So I was very happy to see. And it's just a cool little place where they've had their own, set up for different games and things. I guess Blood Bowl's the main one now. So they had tons of pitches and their own little room. It was cool. Round 1, I was able to play Rocky Boy Ted, a friend of mine who we talk online all the time, and he took me to the Washington tournament when I was up there last year, I guess. But he wasn't going to go, but then since I was going, he's like, oh, I'll go, get a chat and hang out. He wasn't feeling well, which sucked. So this ended up being his only game. But so this whole tournament, right? They have an award for the longest pass, and I decided I'm going for that. So,
You told me this.
yep. And man, oh, this was Wood Elves. That's right. I was like, what team did I take? So I just bought a Wood Elf team at Moracle, got to bust him out here, and I took Hail Mary pass on my thrower. I could take a stat up or down, however you want to look at it now. So it was a 2+ to pass. And my 2 catchers, I gave diving catch. That's all I wanted to do was go for the longest pass. And I cleared it beforehand. It didn't have to be accurate. It could go out of bounds, whatever. It didn't matter. So I received, very first thing I do is try to do the touchdown. So turn 2, I run the catchers to the end zone, and I have it set up to where it's a catcher, then a blank spot, then a catcher in the end zone.
Okay.
And then I take my thrower, go back to the other end zone, and I throw the Hail Mary pass. It scatters perfectly, and I catch it. So got my first touchdown, 25 squares by 6.
Wow.
And I was like, out of the gate, I wanted to get this done so that I can, because other people were trying to do it too. And I wasn't the only one with this idea. I was like, but if I get it quick and very long, then maybe other people don't try, and I can just carry it the whole time.
Right.
And one of
They're
the
gonna be like, I'm not gonna fuck with this.
right, which is the smart thing to do. I wish I had been that smart later on. One of the guys made a really cool chain, like a board that you could flip to the numbers. One set's red, one set's blue, so you could do the X and Y axis.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. I got to wear that. And I wore it for the whole tournament. No matter how much it hurt my neck, I was able to wear it. So this was Sweltering Heat. Talked about that. So after I scored, we do Sweltering Heat. We lose 3 people. I lost 2 linemen. No big deal. Or I lost a thrower and 2 linemen. So sucks losing the thrower, but I'm kicking off to him, so not that big a deal. He loses his star, which was Eldril, I think. Should probably wrote that down. Anyways, just trying to get through this fast. His thrower and a blitzer, so he was really screwed. The ball goes near the line of scrimmage on my left side. I end up getting charge, so I moved him away, got under the ball, caught it. His dice, absolutely horrible. I scored turn 4. He gets the ball after I kick it again. He gets a reroll, blah, blah, blah. His dice, absolutely horrible the whole tournament. Won't go into much more of it, but that's really what it came down to. Is as much as I'd like to say I did well, his dice screwed him 100%. I did try to do another corner pass, from the actual dead corner to the other corner, just try to extend my longest pass, and got it accurate, but then it didn't stay where it was supposed to and went out of bounds. So no biggie. But I ended up winning 3-1 with casualties 1-0 me. Like I said, he wasn't feeling well, so he drops, which sucks. We've decided to go back, and he was selling his house, so he went back and started cleaning that up. So it wasn't odd people. Then they had a little Chinese place downstairs, so I got Chinese teriyaki chicken. That was yummy.
Nice.
Second round, go up against Eric, OWA, the Uptown Chuckers. I receive, he gets dodgy snack on a line dwarf. He casualties a lineman, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to speed through this. I feel like I've been talking way too much. Anyways.
Well, I'm not there to play games with you,
I know.
so yeah.
It ends 2-2. It was a good game. Went back and forth a lot. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way or like I'm bragging or any bullshit. I should have won this game, but I was trying too hard to further extend my longest pass. I could have just sat on the ball and protected it and not worried, but I tried to do it, and then he got the ball and then ended up scoring. So that's why it was 2-2. And casualties were 4-1 him. And last round, I go up against Hunter. He's got an ability called the Empire. After a win and a loss, I knew exactly what was going to happen, and it did. I lost 2-1, but that's just how it works. So I got 1-1-1, but I got what I wanted. I got the longest pass award, and they even let me keep the placard and the chain. So I might be using that in the future for another event, just for fun.
Okay.
That evening, we was nice enough to drop me off at Pal's bookstore. Giant bookstore. I guess it's the largest independent bookstore in the world. Like 5 or 6
Bigger than
stories.
Gardner's?
It's like 5 or 6 stories, and it's a whole city block.
Okay.
So, tons of stuff. And they didn't have any comics. They had trade paperbacks. It was cool seeing, it was super busy. And it was cool seeing everyone there. I wasn't really looking for anything specific, and there was just so many people and so much. I just kind of did the rounds, like, okay, this is cool, and left. And then grabbed pizza at a place called Pal's across the street, like an old school pizza joint you see in a college town. Like,
Hmm.
and giant slices of pizza. They're really good. I sat at the window, watched people, and everything you think about, if you think about Portland, Oregon, is pretty much what you saw. A whole bunch of hippies, a whole bunch of homeless people, and everything in between.
Some homeless hippies.
Homeless hippies, I'm sure. Went back to hotel, flew out, and again that whole airport was just amazing. Um, but now I'm at 7 games with Wood Elves, and it's my 29th state. So my next one is going to be 30, and that'll be.
Dude, you'll be 60% done.
I know, well, mostly. Because I got to include DC, and I should be getting DC in September, barring any other crazy stuff happening.
Okay.
But yeah, well, I was supposed to go last year, and then Ronnie died. So as long as
Okay.
no one else dies between then and Nova, I should be fine. We'll
Well,
come back to that later on.
we need to knock on some wood, right?
And a little late for that. But, anyways, um, yeah. So that's my two. It was a great time. I really do love traveling, seeing people. If you get the chance, do it because you're only here once and you need to do what you enjoy. So,
I mean, not wrong, my friend. You're not wrong.
okay, well, let's go ahead and end this one and we'll come back and you can do all the talking when we talk about your playoffs.
No, you're good, man. All right. We'll be right back.
We are back and we're going to talk to Scott about his playoff appearance.
So, my playoff appearance.
So,
This is
what season is this?
This is the 12th season of the Central Oklahoma Blood Bowl League. The whole league is designed to just, if you can travel in and do games, I guess you can play in it type deal. It's supposed to be for anybody in Oklahoma.
Or Texas, because Drew played for a while.
He did play. For the season, we had 24 teams.
That's
So
a
24
lot.
people signed up, which is pretty good.
I mean, that's not pretty good. That's a lot. Like, remember back when we had like 6?
Oh, I remember. Um, I miss being the big fish in the small pond, though. No, we've consistently got about 20 teams the last, like, since COVID type deals. The tour play software works awesome for this. We take league dues. They go towards paying for a tour play and or some like drawings because we just do as long as you're not a jerk and I don't have to ban you for some reason. You're part of the drawing.
Yeah.
Only had to do that to a few people over the years, but this year we gave out some Blood Bowl dice, those ones that went to the store, the different colored Blood Bowl dice, and
Oh, yeah.
we did a team. And we also did some like player markers. Somebody 3D printed some and donated them. So you have little bases and you can clip in the little skills and stuff. So we had 3 items to give away. We drew the MVP. It came down to the guy with the most casualties and the guy with the most um, completions. And so what I do with that is I act like the press votes. So I take the top spot in each category, and then in Tour Play they have like the best overall, and this adds in like touchdowns, casualties, injuries, blah 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 blah. So we even take that person into consideration, and we write these names on like an old magic card, put them in a sleeve, shuffle them up, and then the first card we draw is the last place. It's supposed to be represented, kind of like the Heisman voting gets voted.
Right.
Like this guy. There was 6 guys up for it. This guy got 6th and 5th, and so on and so on and so on. My guy with the most casualties on the season, he had like 13, I think. He ended up getting runner up. First place went to Rocket Ralph, a Skaven thrower from the Buccaneers team, the Blygen City Buccaneers or something like that. And then we started the playoffs. Now, we only had 12 people participate. All you had to do to qualify is you can play up to 11 games, but you had to play 7 to qualify for the playoffs. We had more people qualify, but every year, I have no idea why. There is people who will qualify for it, but then just go, I probably can't win it all anyways, so I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah.
And we've had a few people do that. So I just don't understand. But at the same time, they played their league dues and they can do whatever they want. So we had 12 teams participate into the playoffs, which meant the first 4 seeds got a bye for the first round because we just turned it into a 16-man bracket. And so we had round 1, we had 4 matches playoff, and then we always do the first 2 rounds to narrow it down to the final 4. The reason I encourage everybody to play the playoffs is because we've talked about it here in the past. So if you're a longtime listener, you might remember Steve one year didn't win any games. He tied 3 games and lost all the rest of his games with Nurgle.
Oh yeah.
He won 3 games in the playoffs, and that's all that mattered because he won. He was the champion, with by far the worst record, one of the worst records in the league.
I forgot about that.
Counting the playoffs. So I always use that as an example of like, do not count your season out. Luckily, some people who were thinking about not playing decided to go ahead and play. We had a giant upset. We had a guy who hadn't won a game all season. He played in the first round. I think he was might have been the 12th seed. I don't know, 12th, 11th seed. Either way, he won his first game of the season in the playoffs and beat a very good team. He won 2-1. He was so happy, and he played the other guy. It was a 1-0 game. Really, what I want to tell you here is I finished the league in first place with only 1 loss all season. I'm sorry, 2 losses all season. I was 9-2. Number 1 seed going into it, feeling pretty good. My choices was either to play Chaos or it was going to be against Skaven. And I really wanted to face off against Skaven, one, because that was one of the teams that beat me, and I wanted some revenge factor. But I don't like the matchup of Chaos Chosen versus Orcs, because while the Orcs are new and improved and everybody says they're way better, there's some matchups that just don't work for Orcs.
Yeah.
One, a Chaos Chosen team is faster, I feel like. And 2, they have 5 strength, 4 or greater people, while Orcs only have 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
Orcs have 3.
Well, 3. You're right. Still outnumbered in that aspect. This is a pretty unique Chaos team where he started to take a bunch of mutations at first, and then he started taking some block and stuff like that. So his team's really unique. Like if he gets the right guys around you, like he has a couple prehensile tails and some claws and this and that. I fought tooth and nail, and I was very happy that the first half ended 0-0 because he legit dominated me. Even though I got the ball, he dominated me in every facet of the game. And you felt it from the beginning because my first 4 blocks were all pushes.
Yeah. That's so annoying because right then, it's like, well, this is what the game's going to be.
It was bad, and I just felt like, oh boy. And so then for 8 turns, he got the ball from me, and then I had to like do crazy stuff just to tackle him. We went into halftime 0-0, and I had to kick it off to him. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is my reset. I already had my leader guy get knocked out of the game. I mean, he was breaking armor left and right.
Yeah.
By about turn 3 in the second half, I was down to I think 6 or 5 guys. There was 4 casualties against me and a bunch of guys in the KO. If I was him, I would have stalled out to
Right.
make sure that I only have a goblin throw left. He actually gave me the ball back with 4 plays left. 3 plays. No, 4 plays on my end. But I only had 7 dudes as orcs.
Jeez.
So you know you're in trouble when your orc armor doesn't hold up. And I couldn't do no right. I had my rerolls for this throw. It didn't matter. I went to go pick up the ball with my other thrower. I rolled double snakes. It just was not meant to be. The number 1 seed went down to like the number 7th seed, 1-0. So I was out of the playoffs. Kind of a disappointing season because I got to hear all season about how it's going to win the league and blah, blah, blah. And, orcs were just too powerful. Badlands Brawl thing is just too much. It's overpowering. It's not fair. Well,
Playoffs, like, they just come down to one game, and anyone can have a bad game.
yeah, and I lost the last game of the season, and I'm not saying I'm a good player. It is super rare that I would lose 2 back-to-back games.
Yeah.
I can proudly say this. I don't know how it's happened, but most of the time, even at tournaments, I don't lose 2 back-to-back games. And I could probably trace this back to 2 or 3 years since it's happened. I lost 2 games in a row, and it sucked balls. With that said, our final 4 in the Central Oklahoma Blood Bowl League, Season 12, is, I want to say the names because, they're all fluffy. We have the San Michon Silver Saints.
San
I
Michel?
guess that's how you... Huh?
San Michel? So look like Michael?
It's Michon.
Oh, San Michon. Okay.
San Michon Silver Saints versus the Bretonian team of the Talon Bachlan. I'm probably not pronouncing that right either. It's in the fluff. Templars. One of those teams will be in the finals. So we got some humans versus humans in a sense. And then we have the Chaos Chosen team that beat me, the Coldmire Crushers versus the Helfort Blooded Royals, which is also, Helfort is a city, in the fluff of like Savannah or somewhere like that. So those are vampires. So on one side, we're either going to, here's what I think it's cool. One side, we're going to get Chaos Chosen or vampires.
Okay.
Fair to say those are evil teams.
Yeah.
And the other side, we got humans and some Bretonians, which are good teams. So no matter what, in the final game, we're going to have good versus evil. And then in the third place game, we're going to have good versus evil.
Nice.
So
how's the Bretonians doing? Obviously, they're in the playoffs and they won, but
they're in the playoffs and they won. The other Bretonian teams didn't do so well. Matt Strickland, I don't think it's throwing shade on anybody. He's the better of the 3 players that were playing Bretonians this season.
okay.
It was rough at first, and once he started getting some skills, it's helped a lot. But I guess when he won to get to this point in his play, he played the guy who upset the Necro team, and it was a 1-0 victory for the Bretonians to beat Necro. And I guess he did it with like 3 people on the field. Like
wow.
He had to pull off some stuff to do it. And then I guess he got a whole bunch of guys recovered from KOs, which saved his ass to like hold on, from the way I understood it.
Yeah.
When it's playoffs, I try to really leave people alone because I know some people just don't like to be messed with and stuff. We had a good outing. We have a new player named Tim. I think it's Mytholo. He was a rookie player that decided to play this year. He went undefeated during the season. Now, He only played 7 games, but he still played some good players. He
7
also
games
won,
is still a lot to win, though.
Yeah, he won his first round playoff game. He versed Gary again. Him and Gary played during the regular season, and Tim beat Gary. I think 1-0. They played again, and I think it was 2-1 was the final on them. But he had a really great showing for the season for a rookie player and stuff like that. So, you made a comment about like, oh, I can't believe your playoffs are still going on. Well, Paul lives in Tulsa.
Oh, jeez.
Matt Strickland, who got married a couple months ago, and I went to the wedding, didn't have their honeymoon scheduled until after this first round of the playoffs. So we had some things happening. Paul's wife is also pregnant, and they thought they might have to deliver the baby early.
Jeez.
So we're hoping we get to this Sunday, play these 2 rounds of playoffs, and then they can go have a baby and all that stuff. So,
Okay.
anyways, I'm disappointed in my showing because nobody likes to lose in the playoffs. But
I mean, to be
I always
fair,
have to
you've
tell
let us
myself-
all down. So,
what's that?
to be fair, you have let us all down
Oh, thank you.
because I'm not in the league, so everything was riding on you.
That's okay. I have to always remind myself that there's a lot of people that would change places with me and, win 9 out of 12 games.
Or
My
even,
overall
even
thoughts
to be in the league. I mean,
I tried to keep stats the best I could on like the team captain deal and the like rolling for troll stupidity.
yeah.
I did play 12 games. There was some games where I was like over halfway through and I was like, oh, I haven't been keeping stats. So the 9 games I did keep stats on the rerolls used and saved, I used 58 rerolls. I got 10 of those back through team captain. So it hit about the
That's
1 out
about
of 6
right.
chance.
Yeah.
The stupidity rolls in those 9 games, I had 93 rolls. 19 of those were stupid. So I don't know. That's probably about 1 out of 5, close to. So it's close. KO rolls this season I had really good of this. 10 out of 16 KO rolls worked in my favor. And then caught fouling, I got caught fouling 3 out of 8 times. So I did my best to keep the stats. I think Gary was trying to do this too, and I think he did it for about 4 games. And his numbers were very similar at the time that we talked. So I doubt anything changes there. So team captain worked great in the like first 4 games. And it was almost non-existent after, because my very first game, I got 4 of those 10 rolls in that first game, I believe.
Oh, jeez.
I don't
sure your
exactly
opponent loved
remember.
that.
Well, he beat me, so he didn't care. So
That's fair.
but I did get, maybe it was only 3, but I got a lot in that very first game. Like I was like, this is ridiculous. But anyways, all those averages come out to kind of where they should be anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, that's really how it should be. So
playing orcs, I can't tell you if I think they're better or worse. They're slower for sure, and that was a problem. But really, the 3 games I lost, and you can say this about any team, when the armor wasn't there,
yeah,
I lost. It's really that simple. I got just diced on armor. You don't have a chance. Even against the Skaven team, you can go back and listen to the episodes. I talked about that first game where I like put myself right next to his Skaven blitzer, and let's see if he'll dodge away or whatever, and make him dodge away. And he stabbed me instead. And like 3 of the 4 of those were armor breaks. I mean, like when you got paper mache armor, there's just not a lot you can do about it. Blood Bowl.
yeah.
And this playoff game, I got punched in the mouth so quick. Like you said, those first couple plays. I mean, by turn 2, I was down people, and I was just like, okay, it's gonna be one of them games, and I'm just gonna have to
suck it up
and try to play it through. So, but nothing worked that game. Nothing worked. I mean, nothing. So even having dodge and break tackle on a blitzer didn't work when you roll double ones.
No, not usually.
So,
jeez.
Anyways, so I'll be able to report the top 4 after on our next podcast, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
But a successful season either way. Having 24 people is good. We had at least 6 brand new people. I think about 3 of them will return. I expect 3 of them to be done with Blood Bowl, but you never know.
Now, how many of those people are you going to get to come to your tournaments?
Probably about 4, like we always do.
Okay, that's yeah, seems about right.
I'm hoping we get some more, but I mean, the hard thing with Blood Bowl is people think, oh, it's kind of fun, and then you go, would you like to play 3 games? And they're like, screw you.
Yeah, so you do have tournaments coming up in November, correct? 14th, 15th?
Yeah, let's just talk about that here. If you go to the website, I believe it's Okla Open, OKLA Open.com, which is the Oklahoma Open 2026. It's a tabletop wargaming. I've been asked to run some Blood Bowl tournaments. This is actually for November 13th, 14th, and 15th. We are going to be running, I'm going to run a 3-round tournament on Saturday. I'm going to run, and that one is going to be like a Skaven theme thing. I'm calling this the Both Down Championship Series because I wanted it to be themey. This is, Steve knows this. This has been an idea I've had for a long time, taking up over the characters of Black Belt Sanch, who was the coach for the Skaven Blight Scramblers back in the old editions, and what's the first guy's name?
Duran's Gold.
Thorin Durans Gold the third, which was the coach for the Dwarf Giants. So I wanted to use these guys, and in my fluff, I'm thinking like these guys are like John Madden and Pat Summerall, old NFL guys talking at games, and they decided to throw their own weekend tournaments. So the Saturday event, if it gets approved, you'll be able to give a lineman some fancy shoes to help him run faster, just a lineman, positional. And then on the second day, I believe you get a gauntlet of power, and I don't know if that gives you, I can't remember what it gives you, maybe block or something like that, stand firm. There's something it gives you to a lineman for the dwarf side. But if you come, from what I understand, the weekend is just $50. You're going to pay the tournament, and then you sign up for the event once you bought your ticket into the event, and you can sign up for both days or one day. And we have separate awards. I'm trying this for the first time. We have separate awards for Saturday. We have separate awards for Sunday. And then the few people that play both, I'm hoping there'll be a bunch, but if we only have a few people, then the rest, then we'll do group awards for both days.
We have done that before.
Have we?
Yeah, we tried that once and it was the Both Down Championship Series. Oklahoma Bowl Spiky Cup 3, I want to say.
Oh, if we did it, we did it super early on.
And Brian 2 won both. And they're like, whatever.
Oh,
it was also a pain in the ass.
Dude, if Texas travels up, which I'm assuming some of them will,
yeah.
I mean, we know there's some good players down there. And yes, I can see the same guy winning both. So,
you know what's interesting? I can't find our episode that we didn't do. We may not have kept that. Oh, wait, no? Is this it?
Are you looking for the lost episode where we were trying to talk in voices and stuff?
Yeah, the Dragonfire Weekly that we were supposed to do a long time ago.
Yeah, that just didn't happen because we kept laughing. And
no, it was you. It was all you.
Well, okay, it was me then. Anyways,
I still want to do that. That'd be fun.
Anyways, this is in November. The rule set has finally been looked over by other people to make sure everything looked right. I'm trying a little bit different with the tiers and stuff. We're trying to go with the GW thing of just 4 elite skills, and that means 2. I took 2 block, 2 dodge. You got your 4 elite skills and move on. But it's all in the rule set. They've been submitted to NAF. We're just waiting for a NAF approval, and then I can even talk about it more.
And hold on.
And
no, it's just the
yeah. Do this at the end. You can put this at the end.
I want to see. I haven't listened.
You're blowing people's ears out right now.
Oh yeah, probably.
Right now, Phil hates you.
So I guess this was just the
sound effects.
The sound effects. I didn't actually. Yeah.
I'm glad my league talk has bored you enough to go look at old files.
No, it was the tournaments. Black Belt and Sand.
Okay. All right.
I'll see if I can get that show and maybe have it at the end. I don't think we've ever released that.
I don't think so either.
I don't know if we actually completed it. I'm sure we did not complete it. I don't know how much we have. Anyways, there might be something special at the end of the show. Maybe we can talk Scott into doing it again, because I'd still like to do that. That'd be fun.
It would be funny.
I still think I know it's not going to happen, most likely, but I want to make puppets and then do the show on YouTube with puppets. Like,
That seems pretty awesome, actually.
I would love to do that. So, like, if you know how to make puppets and you want to help us out,
Make a Scott and Steve puppet.
no. Well, I mean, could, but Black Pelt and Duran's Gold.
Yeah, we need a Skaven, Black Balsanch,
Mm-hmm.
and we need a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Thorin Doran's Gold the Third. Okay.
Exactly. And then we can, I mean, we could have us there too. We also need one for Micah Harry Badsaw, Micah, whatever. Anyways,
Micah Silversmith.
Micah Silversmith, that's right. Yeah,
So
nobody gives a shit.
That was some good fluff back then in
Man.
that league.
That,
What's
of
funny though,
everything,
if you take
that's the most I miss.
if you take since we're still kind of in this league talk,
Sure.
if you take the 10 seasons we played, and I know, get on to me, in our home league, because that's just the easiest way to describe it now.
No one gets on to you for that. That's the right thing to say. It's just that you say it
People tease
every
me.
time we talk about it.
Because it's a league you play at home.
You don't have to. Yes, people understand what a home league is. You
We
don't
played
have to
10
qualify it.
10 complete seasons in that league.
Yep.
Before then, we played a season when I was a kid. That's 11 seasons. Plus the 12 seasons I've ran, or me and you, and now me only running the Cobble League.
Mm-hmm.
It's 23 seasons of Blood Bowl. That's some history, man.
That's true.
And in my brain, they're all in the same universe world. That's what's amazing about them.
Well,
That's sports role playing, folks.
it's something
is
to look
sports
forward to.
For sure.
I would like to do it again.
Anyways, that wraps up this league stuff. Let's take a break and come back. And we're probably not gonna be talking about any Blood Bowl from this point on.
Until
We
shout
did
outs,
get to-
maybe.
Huh?
We might do some in the shout outs. I don't know.
Maybe in the shout outs. But the next segment is going to be our annual friend get together weekend. We're going to talk about some board games we played. We won't talk about it long. It'll probably be a short segment, but we're still going to go over the board games we played and the laughter we had and just a good time we had.
And real life BS stuff. So, yay.
Correct.
Okay,
Awesome.
we'll be right back.
All right, bye.
We are back, and this segment's going to be about our our yearly get together of playing board games ever since Brian died.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, that's really what it is.
We kind of did it before Brian passed away. We had GingerCon. Remember,
Yeah,
for a
we
few
did.
years, we had like friend get-togethers over here with a lot of people, and then Sarge moved away. This all started because our buddy Sarge moved away,
Yep.
and then everything started going crazy. Like the Cubs won the World Series.
Hmm. And everything went downhill since then.
Trump became president. Then Brian got cancer. Anyways, all this started
COVID.
because of there's a weird timeline. Anyways, Sarge's family is still here, so he comes down and brings his kids to his mom's, and him and his wife will play games with us, and then they'll go off somewhere for like a cabin for like 3 or 4 days and just have some time to themselves. Every year we play a bunch of board games. We call it Friends Weekend because that's the easiest way to describe it. And then somebody always goes like, "Oh, Friends Weekend. I didn't get invited." And it's like, okay. That core group of friends, I am blessed to have a many, many friends.
Mhm.
So it's that core of friends. It's just how it is. And if Brian was still here, there would be another person part of Friends Weekend.
Right.
But there's 4 main of us, and then there's Jennifer, and then Wendy.
So
there's
you, me, Sarge, and his wife Wendy, Jen, and then Alan,
correct.
the triple nipple.
The triple nipple from the earlier podcast, correct. We get together. usually like a Friday, Saturday, and a little bit of Sunday. And we play balls out games all weekend, all sorts of different kinds of games. Sarge brings always some new games to play down here. We play some little filler games just to get into it. Some people, I believe it's Sarge's wife, really likes not competitive games, the ones
Co-op.
cooperative
Yeah.
games where it's us versus the thing. So you'll see a lot of those into these or some silly games. So we try to make everybody happy. Usually a couple games we always play every year. There's like 3 or 4 of those. A few of those we did not do this year for the first time in many, many years. One of Fortune and Glory did make the table. I'm a little bit sad about that, but at the same time, it can be a slog, even though I love it. It
Right.
can be a slog, and we decided to play some other things. So,
So before
any
all this,
comments
yeah.
before? Yeah.
Um, Instead of flying in, since I have a new car and it's cheaper, I decided to drive in. And since I was doing that, because I was going to take my sister to go see my dad, so I did that. So Friday morning, I was able to pick up my sister from her care facility because she is 64 and she's mostly, I mean, she's there, but she's got some issues. So she's in a care facility, not
Doing better,
super
though.
bad. She's doing better. But then picked her up after driving 11 hours the previous day. I had to pick her up and drive an hour to go to my dad's in Kingfisher. And my dad is 89. So we picked him up, went for breakfast, got to see everybody. One of those things like you're in town, got to see people. And I didn't see him when I came in from Oklahoma. So it's always good seeing family. And then a drive another hour back. And then went over and you guys were already playing games.
Yeah, we were actually happy, though, because we didn't get the memo that you changed it from lunch to breakfast. So that was good for us.
Yeah, it
Or
was
if you did,
initially
I don't remember it. Neither did Jennifer. So you
no,
showed up earlier than we expected.
it was originally going to be lunch, and then I was because I was flying in, and then I
Mm.
had to get the rental car and all this BS. But since I wasn't doing that, I was like, well, I can just do breakfast. Dad's up at 5, Sis is up at 6, so
Yeah, it was a good idea.
yeah.
So the weekend began with a game called Hot Streak. This is like little mascots that are actually doing a race.
Which turned out to be the MVP of the weekend, I think.
It turned out to be the MVP of the weekend because even if you lost, you still had fun. It's in that same vein as Camel Up. Some people would probably say it's better.
I would say
Some
it's
would say
better.
I just think they both have a spot.
Yes, they're
And
different
this one probably has less strategy than Camel Up, less decisions to make.
for sure.
So in some ways it might be more fun from that angle. We played this game. I've seen it played at the store many times. I did not know it was like this fast of a game and this simple. It was quite a joy.
I don't
Next
usually
game we
recommend games to people, but especially if you have younger kids, this is probably a great game. And it was just a blast. So dumb, so fun.
the next game we played was Flip 7. I think it was just because it was out and maybe somebody said I've never played that before, but I've heard about it. Played a game of Flip 7. We then Me and Alan we borrowed Night Shift, which is a game about strippers competing to get the most money and subscribers. Um,
Interestingly enough, you're right. It is subscribers. This is a modern game where you as a stripper are trying to entice people to join your OnlyFans.
Correct. This is a game made by Exotic Cancer, which sells no other board games that I know of because they sell real stripper accessories and things like that. There's like lingerie and shoes and things like that. This was on Kickstarter. I did not follow through and buy it because I thought there would be no replayability after the first one time.
Yeah.
I borrowed it from a guy at work, took it to my Friday night groups, which Alan is a part of that. Alan and Jennifer, we played it a few times. We were like, this is actually really fun. I took it to a family event. Everybody laughed. Everybody thought it was really fun. So me and Alan bought this game together just for Friends Weekend because we thought we'd all get a kick out of it. And this might be one of those games we play once every year we get together. So we did this. I cannot remember who won. I guess that doesn't even matter. Oh, it said Emerald ones. I don't know who was Emerald, but
I
whoever Emerald
think that
was,
was
they won.
Sarge.
Um,
Because Emerald was the black lady.
no,
Was that Alan?
she was the green one, whichever
Yeah,
the green character was.
yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't put there. I try not to keep track of that too much anymore. Otherwise, I get uber competitive.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's
Um,
pretty sure it's Sarge. Anyways.
um, then we played out a game called The Game Makers. Now, this is very interesting. This is a game that Sarge brought to us. It is a board game about being a company that makes board games. This was very interesting. It was pretty, I thought it was fairly heavy because there was a lot of icons and stuff on the board. Once you started getting rolling, you kind of got used to it, but it took a while to get going. And when I say you make board games, they got the rights to like I could have made Catan.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had the right components, I could set it up in my factory and I could make Catan.
Yeah,
And
all
you
kinds
had
of
to,
games.
yeah, you it had all these games in there. Like
And
it
that
was
was neat. That was a neat aspect to it. The game, as you said, is very complex. It's one of those that I would throw in the category of it's overly complex to make it seem more interesting than it is. And by the
eh,
time you understand what you're doing, you're so far down a path that you're getting screwed.
oh for sure.
Because
Our
I was
buddies
going for all red games, which I guess are hard to find. But I got bonuses if I got them. I never saw one for like 5 turns, and Scott's over there making them every turn.
yeah, I became the dudes on the map making war games
Yeah,
because that's all I got. I didn't have a choice.
and I
That's not
never
the
got
direction
one.
I went. Um anyways, you could like advertise so your games became even more popular and you got bonus points. There was a lot to it. I did have fun. I would play it again. Next game, we decided like, hell, this has been so fun. Let's play another game of Hot Streak. So we did that. Um, maybe
Because I
because you
hadn't
didn't
played
get
at that time.
you hadn't played, so you got to play Hot
Yeah, I
Streak.
came
We
in the
played.
middle of the stripper game.
Oh, that's right. You did come in the middle of it. Then the next game we played that night, probably a mistake that we played it that late in the evening, was called Coming of Age. It's a game from Spain. The only reason our buddy had it is because somebody went overseas and he talked them into buying a copy for him
Well,
or
this is a
something like that.
game.
It's not here because of the tariffs.
This is a game that Sarge was watching as it was created. He was really interested in it. Heard good things, and it was only released in Europe at one of the cons there. And somebody who went to it ended up buying it, and then they got rid of it, and Sarge got it.
Oh,
And he
okay.
was
Is that
very
the whole
excited to
story?
play it. And there's no reason, there's nothing on the board at all that has
It's all
words.
icons.
It's
It's
all
all icons.
icons.
This is a game designed by Danny Garcia, and there's another name that I cannot see. I don't know if he does the art. Um, some friends of mine, once I posted that we were playing this, they were like, "Oh, it's so cool! You got to play that. I've heard good things about it and stuff." It's basically like you're growing up in the '80s and you're trying to make friends. It's kind of inside outish, right?
Yeah,
You're getting sad, you're getting bored, you're educating yourself, you're making friends, you're breaking up with friends, et cetera, et cetera.
there's
The
multiple
whole
things that have, pluses or minuses, and then they can go up, then go down.
it's
So,
a very point salad type game, and then at
yeah,
the end you add up all your points. And I cannot remember who won this game either.
I think overall we didn't care, is sadly what it came down to. It was an interesting game. It was fun for the most part, but it didn't feel like you had stakes, I guess. Because we were sold on the idea of, you're a kid in the 80s and you're trying to, you're growing up and this is what you become. But there's nothing at the end that said, well, you're studious 7 and sloth 5, so this is what you become.
Right. This might have suffered from us playing the Game Makers earlier, which was a
Yeah.
heavy long game, and this one actually was to me a heavy long game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or heavier than anything else we played. And we played it late because we were like, oh my gosh, like we got if we stay up and play anything else, we gotta play something simple.
Yeah.
Alan had a card game called Beat the Heat. It's sold at Target and like Walmart. It turned out to actually be way more fun than I expected. I really wanted to say I'd rather go home and sleep than play this dumb game.
It was really fun.
It ended up being very fun. So if you have like a family that won't play board games because they're scared of the rules, but they'll play little card games, this is a good one. Beat the Heat. It's like a $10 game. I saw it.
If you know what Skip Bow is, you'll like this game.
Yeah, it's a little Hasbro game. Then we called it a night. The next morning, we
I got Brahms.
Sergeant. What's that?
I got Brahms. That's my
Steve,
favorite thing to do when I'm down there.
Steve was happy we got Brahms. Yeah. And the night before, Alan bought a bunch of like cold cuts and stuff. So we had
Mm-hmm.
like sandwiches and chips. And then he made this awesome chicken stuff on Friday night. And I was like, thanks, Alan. You're putting a lot of pressure on me because we're doing day one at your house. Now we're doing day two at my house. And I didn't make anybody food. So
I haven't eaten that poorly in ages. So many chips and cookies.
there was a lot of
It
snacks.
was fun.
If Alan's around, there's going to be a lot of
That's true.
snacks. Um, y'all played Twisted Cryptids. I played this game with Alan. He owns it. We played the first game to try to learn the rules. Sarge really wanted to play this. This is the game I decided to sit out because I needed to go walk at the park and stuff, and I wanted to get that done in the morning. And you know, we know that most of the time you're just hanging out and you're the first one that will sit out.
Oh
We
yeah, for
appreciate
sure.
that. But otherwise, there's like six of us and there's not a lot of six-player games. So I was like, I'll go do my walk. I'll go do this, get it out of the way. I can shave and shower. By the time y'all are done, we can play some more games. So I set this one out. I don't know who won this game. I played this before. My feelings on this game when I played it the first time is kind of like coming of age. I would play it again before I give it a full judgment. I didn't hate it and I didn't love it. So that was my feelings on it.
I don't even remember it.
Like everybody, you're cryptid, so you're like Bigfoot or the
Oh
chupacabra or
yeah, and you
characters
got to
like
try
that.
to get people to your area or not. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was Nessie. I had a little crown for a while.
Oh, that's cool.
The crown was an indicator
After
of whose turn it is, or first turn
oh,
that round.
I
But
got you. Yeah, I mean, we played it the first time, and I didn't. Like I said, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But
right.
I would play it again. I got to figure. The first game was pretty rough. We were figuring out stuff after, like, okay, for this round, we're going to play by all the rules. And
Hmm.
then the next round, I was like, okay, we forgot this rule. Let's play by all the
So
rules.
that one, um, my opinion is I liked it, but there are rounds where no one can score points, or there are
Yes,
rounds where it's possible that nobody can score points, and
yes,
that
that's
happened a
exactly
couple
what
of
we had to.
times, and I did not like that.
Right. That's exactly what happened with us too, because the hikers or the people,
Hmm.
the bird watchers or whoever just weren't around. So it was kind of weird on that. One game we play every year is Chaos in the Old World. It's a old school Warhammer game where like you are the Chaos gods and you are fighting the other Chaos gods. So it's Korn, it's Nurgle,
Slanesh.
it's Slanesh and Zinch, and we're all playing to, you know, can take over the world and have the most influence over the world, et cetera, et cetera. And we're fighting like people and warriors, and there's all these different things that happen with the comet, and set in the old world universe, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody, it's asymmetrical. Every god has their own condition to win, and even if you have the most points, they have these little like unique dials that you check. Look this game up if you're interested. Like I said, I think this is one of the better, maybe one of my favorite games. And it's one of these games where every time somebody takes a turn, you're like, okay, Sarge is now ahead. And then something happens, you go, oh shoot,
Hmm.
Alan's now ahead. And then oh shoot, I'm ahead. Now everybody's gonna come after me. And so on and so on and so on.
So
We played this.
this is a very cool game. It's one I do not mind sitting out because there's just a lot to it as you're playing. It's
Mhm.
also one of the few asymmetrical games where I think it fits well. Like these are very different gods. They do win very different ways. And I think it's balanced enough that as you go through, everyone has a chance to win. Corn,
Correct.
not usually as much. but it happens.
Yeah, like every round after it's like over, you check like, is there somebody hit these points for a win condition? And then no matter what happens, you check these dials. And if on those dials that move through you doing things, achievements, it could say Corn wins. You know, like Corn has the shortest dial and they want to go start war and kill things. Very Corn like. But yes, I agree with you. It feels like every year somebody different wins. And by different, I mean like the gods.
Yeah.
It feels like we always have different winners. And whoever wins, we're like, that guy seems really powerful until we play next time. And then all suddenly, somebody's behind. I
It
do
is,
remember this one. I ended up winning this one by a bunch of points,
which
but I
is
thought I was
rarely what
going to.
happens.
Rarely happens, and I mean a lot of points. I think I won over Sarge, who went over 50 points, but I think I went over by 20 points, which is rare. But I was so scared that we were going to turn those dials and somebody was going to win. So
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy when it came down to Nurgle won, and I was really really happy about that. There is some dice involved, so that can change the game too. Afterwards, we decided to play. They never played Return of the Dark Tower, and I think this is where we were going to play Fortune and Glory, but they never played Return to the Dark Tower. We were actually going to play your old school Dark Tower.
So I actually found Return to the Dark Tower at the thrift store for $100, and it was complete.
It
Which
works.
it's a $350 game because it's rare and it's cool. But Scott had the newer version, and I'm glad we played it because it had a lot of different things that are. I'm sure the old one's fine, but the new one, I'm positive, is better.
I still would like to play the old one, but when we only have 2.5 days
Right.
to play games, that is not the time to read an old 1981 rule
Oh,
book.
yeah, for sure.
Return to the Dark Tower, you play this with an app. It walks you through this. It's kind of like to me, it's almost like a role, like a role. The app runs like the game master, and you're
Yeah,
playing a role playing game.
because you're
Um,
all against the game.
Correct. We played the first game. We were doing fine, and then I just got hit with stuff, all randomly, and I lost the game for us because I had too much corruption.
Turn
And
3.
so, yeah, it's turn 3. So we said, well, it's already set up. Let's just play it again. And I sat out, and Jennifer came in. She was sitting out this game.
And we were doing really well for the most part.
You were doing well, and then just got overwhelmed.
It also helped. So there are different advantages you can get. So basically, it would tame down an attack, and there were wild advantages. But I thought it meant in the wild, like you were because we were fighting a monster, like what
Mm,
spiders and wolves. So I was thinking they're wild animals, so I would get an advantage on that. Come to find out, no, it just meant wild anything. So
well,
if I'd known
that
that
might have changed.
earlier, I could have done better because the way things were going. But I had to go through this. You have different objectives every time, which is really cool. But I went through a long dungeon, had a ton of these advantages, used them, doing really well, and then we just randomly popped out, went to the next thing. We thought we were like 2 turns away from winning, but really we were about 2 turns away from facing the final boss, and then everything just went to hell and we died.
Yeah, I really thought y'all had a chance to
Yeah,
win
we
it. But
we did not.
that game we don't win too often. I mean, that's just part of the game. Like it's just very common, or it's very rare. When you win, you're really, really happy.
Hmm.
So after that, both we were talking about playing this GI Joe game. It's the GI Joe Adventure board game from 1981. The girls saw it and immediately said, "Enjoy your trip. You boys have a time." So just us 4 boys got to play this old game from 1981. We tried to read the rules the best we could.
It
It plays
was
it plays
interesting.
like a good 1981 game, but it still plays like a 1981 game. The character, you only got the first couple of Joes, so if you're familiar with the character
Yeah,
Zap, which was played by I think you,
yeah. I pulled it
uh,
out
he pulled a win out, and
because you have to go to certain locations on the board. So then you get points based on the location. And they're all random. So I went to one side of the board, got the one that was like 30 points. You need 100. So then I went to the island, which was hard to get to because we had to get a special thing that no one could find. But once I got to the island, I hit my next objective, and then I pulled the next card. It
Which
was the
was the same
same exact
objective.
place. And then I pulled the next card, and it was like 5 squares away.
Right.
So that's how I
So,
won.
so Steve won, which is fine. We got to play it. It was good $16 I spent. Maybe we'll play it next year and laugh again.
Pretty sure we will
We
not.
did laugh.
We did. We had fun.
We did laugh. It is pretty crappy. It was also better than I expected, but still crappy. After that, we played 2 games of Hot Streak just to kind of think about this time we were eating pizza and stuff like that. Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to show my daughter, so she actually played with y'all, and I think I sat out while y'all played or maybe we all played. I can't remember, but we got Eden to play Hot Streak because I really wanted to show that for maybe a family game. Then we pulled out Moon Colony Bloodbath. This is like a weird deck builder thing. Um, this is a really good game, but man, it pisses me off.
It's very hard.
You're making colonies. Your currency basically is people, and it's you add things to this deck all the time. It could be like a robot that's supposed to be helping you in the factory, but it accidentally kills 9 people, et cetera, et cetera. And you just keep doing this till disaster wipes out one colony. Once one colony's out, you add up the people left and see who wins. And I don't know who won this. I know it wasn't me. It was a bloodbath, like it always is.
Yeah, it is.
But it's a good, solid game. I'd play it anytime. I would not own it only because Alan already owns it. It's not so good that I have to have my own copy. After that, we played the little card game Mantis. This game is way better than it should be. You either steal mantises. You have a fish tank with little shrimp, mantis shrimp. You're either stealing them or scoring them.
It's kind of like
It,
a updated Go Fish in a way.
yes, it's a lot like a little bit of goldfish, go fish. Um, it's very good for families that again that doesn't play games, but you don't want to play Uno or what did you say, Skipbo? You don't want to
Yeah.
play those games. At least this is better. Um, so I recommend that for light games. Then we played. My daughter got a game for Christmas called Booty Call, and by boo I mean like ghosts. Booty Call.
But it was still very butt centric.
It was very butt centric. It's kind of a PG-13 to rated R type game, sexual innuendos. And you flip over a card and you look at what ghost you are. Then you take 7 more cards and throw them on the board. And we get to ask the ghost questions, but it tells you like answer only in moans, answer and only in knocks. And then you want people to pick you out of the 8 ghosts because then you'll both get a point.
Hmm. It's like a
It's
seance.
Yeah, it's a little seance. It's a little game similar to Apples to Apples. I mean, it was more fun than that, but still.
At the end, there were 3 of us that were 1 point away from winning.
And everybody just took a random guess. And I
It,
think you ended up winning.
I sure did. Absolutely. Because Alan was just like, why don't you just randomly guess? Let's see what happens. I'm like, okay, bet. Done. And I was right.
I found out I played this game wrong. We were drinking some drinks, like some adult beverages and stuff. And when you look at the first card, they say that card is you. Well, my card was a graphic designer, which I went to college for, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is me. My degree's in graphic design. That's what I studied in college." So the whole time they're asking me clues, and
So,
every time I answer, sounds like I'm answering very obviously for another ghost. But I think everybody at the table should know I went to school as a graphic designer, and
Scott was
somehow
very much not in his mind.
I was not in my mind because I was like, I don't know why you guys are struggling with this. I studied graphic design in college. And they were like, yeah, but you answered the question this way. I said, yeah, but in college, this is what I would have been. And they're like, where are you getting this in college thing for?
It's not you,
So
it's the ghost.
the, and kept going, I know, I remember this. I was like, I know, I'm the ghost. That is me. And they kept like laughing. Too many root beer, not your dad's root beer and stuff like that. So, anyways, that was fun. that ended the night on Saturday night. We all went home. We came back for our last couple of games on Sunday morning. We started again at 9 o'clock in the morning. We played a game of Spooktacular. I think all of us played this, right?
Yeah, this is one that we talked about last year as well. And me not being a huge board gamer, I love this game. It's a ton of fun. It actually makes me want to make different monsters. I think there's a drive-in one coming out soon.
Supposedly there's a sequel that's like a drive-in, yeah. So this is like it's an old movie theater in 1984. Lightning strikes the theater, and all the monsters on the screen come to life, and that's what you're playing. And everybody has different ways to win. Again, I know I didn't win this game. I don't know who won this game,
We thought
but we
Sarge was going to, and he didn't. Um,
um
I might have.
maybe. Uh it was a fun time. This one's probably one of those games where if we got to pick like 5 games, this would make the we got to play it once every
Yeah.
year. And then last but not least, we play this game every year. Camp Grizzly. We played one game of that. Uh,
And now this got
thankfully,
re-released. So this game was put out many years ago. It came out once. People loved it, and the guy never did anything with it again.
it was a cult following. Jennifer found my copy for like $250, and
And
at the
that was
time they were
cheap.
selling for like $500-600.
Hmm.
But then finally, the guy let another company remake this game, and now there's a second edition. And of course, we got second. Alan got his copy of second edition in Monday, and I had mine in on Wednesday,
Right.
just days after Friend Weekend. So,
This is also a game that normally takes indefinite amount of time, but usually a decent amount of time.
yeah, it can be a slog in some ways, but usually you're laughing because you're playing Friday the 13th, basically the
Yeah.
movie with counselors and stuff. But we always put that to the table too. So that wrapped up Friend Weekend. There was a total of 19 games played that weekend. I got to play 17 of the 19. Had a good time visiting with everybody. I was exhausted after this. I also
But
after Friends Weekend, me and you watched the World Cup game,
yep, we want to watch. We
and
got to watch
I
the
got my.
final.
I've been the idiot buying McDonald's meals to get these World Cup collector cups, these plastic cups. I got the last one I needed that morning. I got the Grimace cup, and I was so happy, Steve.
Nothing
I'm
can
telling.
kill the grimace.
I pulled that cup. I opened up the plastic. It was the Grimace one, the last one I needed, and I'm not kidding you. Like a '80s movie, "Simply the Best" by Tina Turner played in my head, like I achieved something
You just
instead of just being like a guy who had 30 McDonald's meals over the course of 30 days.
and you just raised it above your head, and time froze.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
credit, and the credits play. That's where my
Hmm.
life should have just stopped there, and everybody goes, "Oh, he went on to be a CEO. He was a millionaire. He had a blah blah
He
blah."
died in Vietnam.
Jesus. Anyways, that was Friends Weekend. We watched World Cup. We watched a great World Cup final. I mean, that everybody says it was a good final. Spain dominated that match,
Yeah, it was.
big time. It was just a close game, so therefore we think it was a great game, and it went into overtime. So, but Spain really dominated the game overall if you look at it. So,
Yeah, and then people were babies because they lost.
yeah, that's what I've heard.
That was-
Try not to think about that.
Yeah.
So that wraps up Friend Weekend.
Well, somewhat.
But then a tradition that Steve is starting to try to make happened.
No,
Go
Steve
ahead.
does not want this to happen. Last year, at the end of Friend Weekend, I was in the airport waiting to go home. I was like, you know what? I haven't heard from my brother. I was supposed to just go to breakfast with him and go to dad's and all this BS. And it's like, well, he said he wasn't feeling well the night before.
This is
Maybe
last
I,
year, everybody.
yeah, last year. I was like, well, maybe I need someone to go check on him. And sure enough, he'd passed. So stayed a couple extra days, dealt with all that. That was no fun. My first relative, besides my mom, who's passed, but my mom passed when I was 19. So dealt with all that. Had to come back to Oklahoma a couple weeks later for the funeral. Blah blah blah. This year, I made the joke of, if that happens again, I'm not coming back. Well, that Sunday, as I'm in bed, get a message from my brother saying that his wife, who'd been fighting breast cancer for many years at this point,
Long time since I can remember.
Yeah, it's 13 years maybe. Um, Thought it was gone. It came back, and they tried a whole bunch of things, and ultimately, she decided it was not worth fighting anymore. So she went into hospice at that Friday. We were told about it that Sunday because my brother didn't want to deal with it, as you know things are. And I sent it to the group, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not coming back next year because I'm running out of relatives. And she passed Friday, so or Saturday morning, I guess. But yeah, so getting really tired of losing siblings, and she's my sister-in-law, but my brother has been married to her for 33 years or 34 years.
So it really probably felt like
She was a
a
sister.
sister.
I've known
Yeah.
her since they were dating in high school. So Greg's 4 years older than me. I probably met her first time when I was 12. And I
Mm.
remember, it's kind of silly, but I remember when I first met her. Might have been first, I don't know. I think it was when they were talking about going to college. And because they were high school sweethearts, they both went to the same college. But I remember being so upset that she was stealing my brother from me. And I was, as a kid would do, I was upset, like, well, I'm never going to know, you're taking him away and going to Stillwater. I'm never going to see him again, all this stuff. And that, obviously didn't come to pass. I mean, it is what it is. Um, but so unfortunately, she passed, not in pain anymore, which is great. Obviously, no one wants to lose a relative, but as I posted on Facebook, it's kind of a blessing when you know people are passing before they do, because we did this with my mom. We knew she wasn't going to make it to another Christmas, so you kind of you make your peace with it, which doesn't help with the guilt or the grief, but it helps with the remorse because you've made your peace with them. They know you love them, that you know they love you. There's no question with that. Now, thankfully, my brother, when he passed, we had the same thing. We didn't know that he was going to pass, but there was no question on any of that. It just sucks.
Right.
Um, so, yeah, currently I'm off work today for a grievance. I just didn't feel like going in. I'll probably go in tomorrow, and then once we find out when the funeral is, I'll be going back to Oklahoma or Texas or both. I don't know. We'll see.
The
But
one thing I will say about this is I don't know your brother and Marla well, but they've always been kind to me. But I mean, I guess I've known them just as much as I knew Ronnie. That
right,
just doesn't mean I like had in-depth conversations with them. But
right.
for sure, the last 4 years, your brother and Marla decided to live life, and they played in their band and they did all this other stuff. They did everything they could while somebody was fighting a disease that was slowly eating them alive.
She was stage 4, and they went to California. She had to take a special medicine every day or every other day. Had to get cold packs to, cryogenic or what dry ice, so they could take
Mm-hmm.
it with them. One day something happened, so they had to go to the emergency room to get another emergency thing of it. But they tried what they could, and again, you know it's coming. You do what you have to, and that's life. It's why we get together. It's why we don't take for granted what we have and who we have and the time we have with them, because you just never know how long it's going to be. Even when you know it's coming, you never know exactly how long.
Correct. This is why I say take the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Annoy your friends. Take the damn picture. No, they're not the greatest pictures, but at the same time, they show people doing things. And if you follow me on Facebook, you know I try to do that. Maybe I probably am pretty annoying, honestly, with
No,
this, but at the same time, I'm glad I do it.
we're
So
glad you do it. I mean, honestly, because we wouldn't. That's why I try to take pictures when I travel so that I can go back and see what I did. It's nice to show people, what I'm doing. It's I still have people who enjoy it, obviously, but two of my biggest champions who really enjoyed it, my brother and Pete, both gone, but I still do. But yeah, I mean, so Pete, Brian, my brother, my sister-in-law. So hopefully I'll do it again next year. But again, next year, if someone else dies that week, then we may just have to push it to August or I don't know. Get out of Oklahoma. But yeah, so that's life. Exciting.
Marlon's the 18th person I've lost since 2017.
Jesus.
I mean, people I care about losing. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
There's some this guy I used to work with and stuff like that. But yeah, I've kept a record because people don't believe me when I say like one year I said, "Thank God I only lost two people I loved this year."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "What? Did you lose more?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, 2023 we had lost five. So yeah,
Well, the problem with that is you love too many people and you know too many people.
you are right. I mean, it is the great blessing is you know a lot of people, but that means you know a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a guy I worked with, and I try to always quote this because I'll be honest, don't didn't really care for this guy. He was an instructor that annoyed me every time I had to work with him. But I overheard him one day talking about somebody being old, and he said, you know, don't knock being old. Somebody, I think that's what it was. Another instructor was complaining about, like, well, I'm really old, you know, I'm decrepit. And he said, don't knock that. He said, not everybody gets the privilege of being old.
Yep.
And while I did not like Doug at all to work with, his words will always stick with me because it made me go like, holy shit, he's right. Because you only have two choices, right? You live the next day or you don't.
Yep.
And that's the one thing that man, whether I liked him or not, the lesson I got out of him, which is another reason why you're kind to strangers and stuff, because you never know what little lesson you're going to pass on or your act of kindness or whatever it is. But yeah, it is a privilege to be crusty and old because not everybody gets to do it. So everybody remember that. And I'm sorry for your loss. I know it's coming. It doesn't make it easy.
Yeah.
And it really sucks. And if this happens again next year, I don't blame you if you never come back.
Yeah. Oh well. Like I said, I don't know. There's nothing you can do. It's just life. You know, it
It is
sucks.
life.
And you just have to move on.
I have always, well, the last 10 years or so, I have said when somebody dies, it is a reminder to you to go live life.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't remind you of that, then you know you got other problems because it should just like wake you up and like I gotta live, you know, like thinking about not doing this for a while. Why not? Let's
It's
go
like
do
you
it. Let's
with the
go
World
to
Cup. You
let's
know?
go to the World Cup game. You know, so
Well, that's enough depressing thoughts. Let's go ahead and wrap this up and we'll come back with
listen,
shout outs.
some quick shout outs.
And we are at the tail end of this probably rather long episode, surprisingly.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be because I'm gonna be
Haha,
tired
you talked.
tomorrow.
You talked before I said shout outs. Haha, you lose.
Shout outs.
Okay, fine.
There you
Shout
go.
outs.
Dang it, you're right. You did beat me.
So,
Man, you did that on purpose.
you just jumped in, sir. I had nothing to do with that.
You're right. Okay. Fine.
So, everyone who ran the events I went to, everyone who went to the events I went to, shout out. I could go on about everyone who listens and all that BS, but you know, we just talked about that. If you didn't listen to the previous part, my sister-in-law passed away, so more dead people, more fun. Enjoy the time you have, enjoy the people you have, and the time with them, all that fun stuff. And then Charlie Victor, don't forget to check out their Kickstarter. Looks like fun.
For what I understand, it's like a good game to like pack up, take to your tournament, and
Yeah.
like you can play a quick round like while you're waiting for like 15 minutes for somebody else to finish their games. and
Yeah, it's
stuff.
after the match, and you're out there picking stuff up. So, I think
Anyways.
unless that poor part's gone, you can pay extra to be part of the game.
Oh,
Like they can pick up one of your star items or something.
cool. That's kind of neat.
But
We should have a both down miniature in the game.
probably
All of a sudden,
good.
suddenly, Steve, look, I see your eyes. You're like,
I don't want to spend that money. But yeah.
I got you.
Anything else?
I don't. I'm just going to. We love you guys. We've already said everything we're going to say. This is the part where we then just start talking forever. So I'm not going to do that. And maybe you'll get a nice little surprise of Steve finding something old from the old, never published categories.
If I have it. And if not, you might just hear some random bullshit, which is generally what it is anyways. So.
And if you are coming to Oklahoma Open,
yeah.
OKLAH, I'm sorry,
Jesus.
OKLAOPEN.com. Go sign up early if you're doing the Blood Bowl stuff, please. I think they only have like 32 spots for us. They did say if we fill up, that will be a happy problem they'll have. But sign up now so I can get them to. Then we can start getting some trophies. Or I think we're doing the little dog tags and stuff. But
nice.
anyways.
Oh yeah, end of August I got Mammoth Melee weekend coming up.
Ooh,
so if you're
fun.
In Denver,
Mammoth
Melee. Yep.
Melee.
And what was else I was going to say? Something. Oh, next episode. Next episode probably coming pretty quick-ish.
That's it. Don't say nothing else.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Within the next 2 weeks, for sure.
Okay.
Bye.
You can follow Both Down on Twitter at Both Down. You can follow Scott at Fat Finley, FATFINLEY, and Steve at Kilowog2814. If you want to know if your team name is Both Down approved, send a tweet to @BDapproved. If you'd like to email them, the email address is bothdownpodcasts@gmail.com. Or for more information, you can visit them at bothdown.com or at facebook.com/bothdown.
Okay, so I found the file. I'm going to play it for you. A few things. First, audio problems this episode. We were having issues with recording on Facebook for whatever reason, so we tried Discord. Looked like it was recording fine. It is what it is. We will eventually, after 15 years, figure this out. Secondly, did find the Dragonfire Weekly. This is a very rough test episode that I threw together because we had talked about doing it. Essentially what it is, we had our home league, Dragonfire Blood Bowl League, and our buddy Sarge would write these write-ups every week, and he had different segments in it. With that being said, we loved those. They were awesome. They were probably the best part of the whole league. And he didn't start doing it until, really, I think week 3, if I remember correctly. And I think I go into that on the test. But I was able to find them all because we used to have some message board, Delphi. I think it was a Delphi message board that we put the league on. And I made graphics for Monday night matchups, and we could see where everyone was and the rankings and stuff. So he used to post there. And I was able to download all the transcripts or the issues that I thought this would be cool if we did a podcast. Just, like this was a real in fluff universe podcast or report. So anyways, I mentioned it to Scott. I don't know if I just threw this together because I wanted to see how it would work. I found some files for music and stuff and kind of think I showed this to him. I can't remember. But as we mentioned in the podcast, we tried to record the real version one time. Scott could not keep it together doing a dwarven voice, so that didn't happen. This, as I said, rough. I didn't even go back through and listen to it all, so I don't even know what's all in it. enjoy because I don't want to listen to it. But this is just me doing it. I probably should. You know what? If there's something weird in it, just let me know. I'm not going to listen to it. But eventually, I would like to do this as a second podcast. And we intimated multiple times previously in the podcast about working on something or another podcast. This is what that was. I'm pretty sure I never put this out before. Maybe I did. You guys listen to this podcast more than I do, so I don't know. We've done a lot of them. We've done a lot of things. So, no idea there. Anyways, hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully there's nothing too embarrassing on here. It's embarrassing enough to me, but this was also done many years ago. So, here you go. Welcome to Dragonfire Weekly with your hosts, Bob Bifford and Jim Johnson. Well, hello and welcome to episode 3 of Dragonfire Weekly. Episode 3? What happened to episodes 1 and 2? Well, that's a good question. Hard to believe coming from someone like you. To answer that, let's go to our first segment. A note from our producer. A note from Al. Thanks, boys. For those of you who don't know, I'm the producer of the show, Al McCalls. If you're wondering what happened to episodes 1 and 2 of Dragonfire Weekly, well, we as journalists were compelled to report of the dismal start of the season for the Wolfpack, and thusly, our show was branded as heresy by the Empire. From now on, the Dragonfire Weekly will be distributed exclusively by the halfling smut peddlers and whoremongers of U-Cabal, instead of the fine network you used to find us at. We apologize for this inconvenience. Also, we'd like to extend our sympathies to former editor John Madsun, as he was burned at the stake for our heretical ways. Sad, sad day, but still, one of the best company barbecues ever. Last week's recap. Now it's time for the 16 questions with Micah Silversmith. With our change in venue, I can only assume a change in audience, so allow me to introduce myself and explain my segment. To those of you who are expecting saucy wenches and bondage, I do apologize. This is a show devoted exclusively to Blood Bowl. As most of you know, I am Micah Silversmith, former coach of the Halfling All-Stars, and member of the Dragonfire Blood Bowl League Hall of Fame. In this segment, I rank the power polls and ask a single question to each of the teams. These questions are largely rhetorical and exist to explain my feelings about the team and their performance of the previous week. As always, we'll start with the team that I consider to be ranked first. Ranked second last week, and first this week, the Campbell Claymores. With an easy schedule over the next several weeks, does anyone else see the Claymores going undefeated if Action Jackson stays healthy? Last week's number 1, coming in at second this week, Skaven Blight Greys. Are the Grey brothers going to be able to stay on top of the charts with this many near misses? Last week's and this week's number 3, the New Ketsa Saints. How dangerous is this team going to be once Ragnarok starts showing his presence? Last week's 6 and this week's 4, the Dwarf Giants. Are the Giants even a good team, or are they just riding Naylor Goldheart's chainmail to the Hall of Fame? Last week's 4 and this week's 5, the Naggaroth Night Riders. With arguably the toughest schedule of all the teams, can the Night Riders prove that sometimes the underdog bites the hardest? Going down a position from last week's 5 to this week's 6, the Green Bay Packers. How impressive has Lance Bass been this season? Is there any stopping him? Staying at 7 this week, Athelorn Avengers. How has a team this good gone 0-2? Also staying in the same spot, number 8, Orkland Raiders. With a rough couple of weeks coming up, will the Raiders be looking for a late-season comeback? Moving up 2 spots this week from 11 to 9, Ganuga Gap Giants. Clearly Khorne has granted these guys the bloodlust of his Chaos Realm, but how long before Tetsuji causes the winds of chance to blow their way? Slipping a spot from 9 to 10, Toxic Goddesses. Can the Goddesses keep from tripping over their own feet long enough to win one? No longer back of the pack, the Middenheim Wolfpack comes in at 11. Now that their schedule is lightened up a bit, can the Wolfpack prove me wrong? And the back of the pack this week, Tabasco Hellcats. How scrambled will these polls get if the Hellcats can hand the Grays their first loss this week? That's it for me. Next week we'll have more questions and even fewer answers. Dragonfire Blood Bowl League Spotlight. Guys, you're on. Guys, you're on. I didn't book anybody. I didn't book anybody. Oh. Alright, next segment. He's bad, he's mad, he's everybody's favorite, Harry Badsaw. Hey everybody, it's your favorite Auckland Hall of Famer Harry Badsaw here with this week's expert picks. Since our producer has asked me to speak as little as possible, because he keeps running out of people to bleep me, let's get right to it. First game is the Skavenblight Greys versus Tabasco Hellcats. I'm taking the Greys all the way. Their speed is simply going to overpower the Hellcats and lead them to victory. Next, we got the Mathalorn Avengers versus Canunga Gap Giants. The Avengers are going to get their first win here. They're too spry to stay down, and the Giants are going to struggle to win any game where their opponents are conscious. Campbell Claymores versus Toxic Goddesses. This is the gimme game of the week. The Campbells stomp the Goddesses with a final score of 4-0, or my name ain't Harry Scary Backsaw Bloodsaw, whoever the hell I am. Middenheim Wolfpack versus the Nagarath, whoever the hell they are. This is the game to watch this week. It'll be a tight, dramatic slobber knocker of a matchup. But when the dust settles, the Night Riders will have their victory. That's who they are, the Night Riders. Dwarf Giants versus Auckland Raiders. This is my upset special. The slightly more mobile Raiders will have the advantage here and will walk away the victors if they play their cards right. Final game of the week, Green Bay Packers versus the Newcastle Saints. The Packers aren't going to be able to win any game from the injury box, and that's exactly where most of them will spend this matchup. The Saints will take this one pretty easily. Well, that's all, folks. And for those keeping score, what the hell's wrong with you? Anyways, if you are keeping score, my record so far is 9-3. It's not too shabby. See you next week. Well, that wraps up episode 3. Yeah, it sure does. So tune in next week for episode 4. What are we going to have then? Well, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to have a little note from our producer. We're going to have Micah Silversmith tell us all about the rankings. And then Harry Badsaw is going to come in and give us his predictions. I don't like that guy. It's kind of crazy. I hope you enjoyed. I sure did. Wasn't talking to you. Tune in next week for more Dragonfire Blood Bowl Weekly. Dragonfire Weekly is produced in association with Necromancer's Broadcasting Circle.